Welcome to the Summer Service Learning Program, and thank you for agreeing to host students in this 8-week service learning course from the Center for Social Concerns. Your role as an Alumni Club contact is vital in helping to provide our students with an opportunity to see and address injustices of poverty and other social issues in dialogue with the theological readings of the course. We have created this video to provide an overview of your role as an Alumni Club contact and to offer some promising practices that other alumni contacts have incorporated into their experience. We appreciate all your efforts that contribute to the learning of approximately 220 students in this course each year.
Something that I found really works over the past few years is that I create a calendar. Once I have those dates from the students, so I know that the range of time they're going to be here over the summer, I then reach out to the alumni from the Club of Chicago and ask if there's anyone who would be willing to host the students for whatever they choose. Some folks like to take the students out to dinner or have some sort of Chicago experience. Some folks like to have the students in their homes and have a barbecue. And so I, put out the range of dates and say, at any time during this period over the summer, would you be willing to host a group of students? And so I usually have more response than I even know what to do with, which is a great problem to have. And then I put together a calendar so that usually once a week throughout the time that students are here, there's something going on.
Most contact information from the university, I immediately get a letter out to the parents identifying who I am and telling them of the club's commitment to their son or daughter, and to assure them if they had any questions they could call any one of us, and I give them a list of contacts. I assemble a contact sheet with the names, phone numbers, emails now of all the people who are running the shelter, the people at Notre Dame, cell numbers, and 2 club contact people here. The sheet also contains as much information as I can gather about the students' cell numbers and their families, so if there's an emergency, everybody can contact one another. So the contact sheet is not only for the parents, it's for the people at the service site, and it's for me as well.
I do probably about 5 reflection groups over the course of the summer, and those reflection groups are a time to have the students come together and a little bit more intentionally talk about their experiences of the summer. And then the third piece of the calendar is a big event. We do one event that's sort of in the middle of the summer that is hosted by one of our actual SSLP sites, and it's a mass and barbecue, and it's a time for not only the students to come, but because so many of our students in Chicago are local, we invite their families to come as well to kind of get a glimpse into what it is that they were working on all summer. And then we also invite the club board members, and so we bring together students, families, sometimes site supervisors from the various sites, and board members to kind of celebrate the SSLP in the middle of the summer, and that's always been a really fun event. I tend to reach out to the site supervisor and the students who are there to ask if there's a good day and time to come. And I really, when I reach out, I say, I'm just coming to say hello. I just, want to check to make sure the students are doing well. I'd like to find out more about, the organization as a whole. And sites have been so gracious to host me, sometimes my kids who are tagging along as well. And just that message of like hello and I want to get to know you better has been really well received. I think it felt awkward to me in the beginning because I wasn't there to do anything. I just wanted to meet them, and it's always been a very gracious welcome of me for that, and in turn then built, I think, really solid relationships with the SSLP sites across the city, so that if and when something has ever gone wrong, I think those site supervisors have then felt comfortable giving me a call or an email to say, hey, I could use some support here. And that's happened infrequently that we've ever had some hiccups, but it's happened, and I credit those relationships to making that work out well.
The Alumni Club has found that the SSLP program is one of the best things. I've gotten so many comments from fellow alumni that they feel that it's the most important thing that we do. For years we had a scholarship fund basically that we would kind of hoard, and we were trying to build that up and try to provide some assistance for students going out to Notre Dame. But only later did we recognize that there was a great opportunity to support students that are already at the university through the Summer Service Learning Program. And so we took some of our funds, our scholarship funds, and directed those towards this program. And when we did that, that really opened the eyes of the Alumni Club, because when the students come out, we make sure that there's a board meeting that it happens during their 8 weeks here, and the students come in and present their project to the board. They also will share where they're from and their major, and give the club some idea of who we're sponsoring, and really also a chance for the students to network with the Alumni Club.
I feel the SSLP is beneficial to our club because it's a way for the club to connect to the mission of the university. I think that when we're at Notre Dame, we all feel a call to service, and when we get into the working world and maybe don't have as much time to commit to some of the things that we did when we were students, it's helpful to the club to know that we support that mission, and we are able to help current students continue to have those experiences and expand their worldview. It's also beneficial then for the students to come to the club and talk about their experiences. Sometimes they're able to share their final papers, or have a student come at the end of the summer board meeting and just kind of talk about how impactful that was for them.
We sponsor other summer service learning program sites within Boston, so we set up road trips for the students to be able to go visit their colleagues, their fellow students who are also doing this program at their sites, so they get to share and see some of the differences in the programs and get to really get more out of the experience.
I, as a coordinator, try and meet with the students 1 or 2 days after they've been here. We go off-site, sit down and talk, ask if there are any questions, if there are any problems that need to be resolved immediately. I also contact Hesed House and ask them, are there any problems or any red flags that I should see right from the get-go, so we can head off anything. We've never had issues, but I think people, they need to know that we have those conversations and we're serious about the commitment to our students and to see if there's a problem there. After that, the contact with Hesed House is pretty minimal. I mean, we let it run its course. I see people here at Hesed House about once a week when I stop by to meet the students and take them out to lunch. After the students are gone, I still see the Hesed House at various social organizations over the course of a year, and our local club donates time here as well. So I'm probably here 4 or 5 more times during the year for that.
A very important thing about the program that we've learned, because we've been doing it for so many years, is that we can always make improvements every year. And so over the years, by involving a group of alumni, first of all, not just having one person, but a group of us that are committed locally and live locally, we work on this every year to improve it, and we come up with best practices. So one of the things we do right to start with is, as soon as the students are selected, we will have a conference call while the students are at campus, and we will get them all together on the phone and share with them about the experience that they're about to enter into. I think the advice is to look for an organization that is going to make effective use of a student for 8 weeks, is going to be able to keep them engaged with activity, but it's meaningful activity that's going to relate to the readings and to the reflections that the students are doing. Once you've found that organization, it's important to identify a site supervisor who is going to be the person within that organization that is going to ensure that that student is meaningfully engaged and is able to make the best use of their talents. And I think once that you have the student properly at the organization, there's a tremendous responsibility upon the alumni community to stay engaged with that student. So again, organizing a calendar in advance of the student's arrival, identifying local alumni who are looking for that opportunity to connect with the university, and then organizing cookouts or dinners or outings to a local ball game or a local any type of an art ceremony, any type of a thing that shows off what you're proud of about your community. As we started out, we were somewhat constrained either each year by the housing or the transportation, and so every time we wanted to grow the program, we had a limit somewhere that we had to kind of figure a way around. So for the first few years, we gathered alumni to host students in their homes. But we really felt that that was not the ideal situation because we were not housing the students together where they could really spend the time and live under one roof and reflect each day on their experiences over a meal. So we were able to, we noticed an organization in town called A Better Chance, and Andover is one of the founding towns of this organization in terms of sponsoring students from inner cities with underperforming schools to come live in our community and go to school in our high school. And approached A Better Chance and said, we know your house is empty during the summer. Could we use that to house our Notre Dame students? And they were glad to do that. And the nice thing was we recognized that we could form a connection with ABC and maybe get some of those students that are in high school familiar with Notre Dame in the process. So it was a good two-way agreement. And what we've done over the years is reached out to those other organizations, whether they be schools or a Boys and Girls Club, or a homeless ministry, or the local churches and parishes with food shelters, food pantries. All of those organizations, we try to find opportunities in addition to the primary spots where the students are serving. We take advantage of those extra hours because they're living in the community to schedule different things that they can do together as a group and to give more exposure to Notre Dame in Lawrence. We've done so well bringing Notre Dame to Lawrence. Why don't we try to bring Lawrence to Notre Dame? So 2 years ago, we added to our contributions and our funding, and we decided to direct some contributions out to Notre Dame, and not only for the Summer Service Learning Program, but also for the Summer Scholars Program, which is part of the pre-college program. And so 2 years ago, we sponsored 6 students from Lawrence to go to Summer Scholars for 2 weeks.
And I tell the students every year that their being at this site, just their presence is an uplifting experience. They are an example to every child that's here and every parent who is here as to something that they can aspire to be. And I tell our students, don't sell yourself short. You may think you're only planting a garden or babysitting, but your presence is doing much more.
You hear about people talking about the football program, but it really kind of obscures or hides what really is so special about Notre Dame, and that's the sense of community, the sense of spirituality and faith that is really organized so well through the Center for Social Concerns.